everyone, and welcome to the Violent Life Podcast. I'm Lucas O, MMA, and I'm here with the God of Thunder himself, Theoren Thorn. What's up, baby? How we doing?
What up, Lucas? I'm good, man. I'm good. Enjoying my nice Sunday today, brother.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Well, let's get into breaking down your career. And your first amateur fight was back in 2019, April 6th, for Nova Fight League, and that was at 185.
Crazy times, man. So it's funny. I was just telling you before this started, that was about 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago, dude. I'd only been training for 3 years, the 2 years before my amateur debut. And, bro, like, this was when I was still training in Canada, because me and you went to college together. So we were the border of Canada in New York. And there wasn't a lot of, like, areas to train up by where we were in Plattsburgh. So I would commute to Canada. And, you know, there was a language barrier being in Quebec and all that stuff. And all I knew was, man, they're like, you got to fight on this day. And I'm like, all right, bet. So, because they had just given me my purple belt in December, I showed up to a striking class, and my coach was like, Theoren, you looking to fight? I'm like, yeah. So, dude, before I knew it, like, I remember I signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and they're like, Theoren, you got a boxing fight this day. And I'm like, I got a boxing fight? What the fuck, dude? So, dude, they take me to some place in Montreal, some strip club. They have a boxing ring in the middle of it. Same day weigh-ins, dude. I don't know who the fuck I'm fighting. I go out there, beat the brakes off this dude in a kickboxing fight.
Hands up, hands elbow.
And I come to find out the guy's got like 7 kickbox fights. I was like, what the fuck? And then like 3 weeks later, they're like, oh, you got an MMA fight now. And it's like, I'm just sitting here like, I don't know who I'm fighting. I don't know what the guy looks like. Nothing. So we're at weigh-ins, and my dad drove up. This is in Quebec City. This is like 4 hours north of New York. And dude, I'm sitting there. Like, this is my first like MMA fight. Like, I was nervous for the boxing fight, but I was nervous for this. So I'm like looking around at all the guys. I'm like, who the fuck's gonna be my opponent? Like, dude, this is at middleweight. This is same day weigh-in. Like, I walk around 180, 85. So they finally called me to step on the scale, and I step on the scale, and I'm like $180. So it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, it's middleweight, same day weigh-in, and my opponent gets on the scale, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, no, this dude's definitely a fucking striker. Like, he's long, he's tall. Like, we're roughly like same height. But dude, like, you get on the scale, and then you fight like fucking same day, like I said. So I go home, and I'm sitting, or no, we went back to get some food after the weigh-ins, and I'm sitting there like, man, this is like, I tell everyone that fights amateur, like, use the amateurs to like find your groove, find what really works for you, because dude, I didn't know how to handle the nerves at this point in my career. Like, I was fucking shaking while I'm eating food after I weighed in, just because the adrenaline. Like, I'm already adrenaline dumping fucking hours before I gotta go in there. I just faced off. I'm not even like, I'm with my friends and everyone in my family, they're all laughing, joking around. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like fucking redline, like finding when to like let those nerves out is so fucking key, dude. You don't want to be redlined all day, and then when it comes fight time, you're like just so stressed from being so tense all day. It's like that was one thing that I had to get adjusted, but pretty much fight comes out. And dude, you knew what I was gonna do back in the day. Fuck that, man. Like, we're gonna go out there. I was the American Habib, man. I went out there. I fucking shot on this dude. I was running my feet across the cage. Took him down. In the first round, pretty much took him down. Was beating him up. Second round, I go out there. I stuck him with like 3 jabs, and then took him down on the fence. I handcuffed him near the end of the round. I got the Dagestan handcuff, and I'm just fucking tagging him. Like, I had my head pinned on his head. I'm moving my head. I'm tagging the shit out of him. and I think the fight's gonna end. The ref doesn't call it. The dude, he ends up getting a turtle on me, and my coach knew that I love the armbar from turtle. Like, if I have one hook in, I'm swinging for it. So I have his back, and I swung for the armbar, and the round ends. And I go to the stool, and my coach right away says, "Sit there, get that same spot, do the same armbar." That's all he says. And I'm like, all right, bet. So again, I take him down. There's a video I have of it, and the girl's like screaming at him. And his girl walked to the side of the cage, is like going ballistic, yelling at him to get up, get up, get up. So I swing for the armbar. He rolls forward. I put that bitch right on top of my cup and just fucking cranked the dude. And he tapped right away. And I got up. I was so hyped. It was, like I said, amateur debut. I was working so many years for it. And that fight was a blast. It was like, damn, I hit my signature submission in this fucking fight too, which was really cool. Like, I loved throwing up that arm. I still throw that armbar up to this day, but it's really cool.
Hell yeah, brother. And that's where it all began.
That's where it started.
And then 2021 was Victory Cage Fighting.
Yep,
You fought
Victory.
for them, and that was at 170.
One was at 170. This was again, I'll try to drop some tidbits for like fighters and the amateurs. Amateur, I feel like you really gotta find. I look at this now and I'm glad I did it. Like this, don't fucking bother cutting weight in amateur. Like, dude, I wouldn't cut weight at all in amateur. I didn't do like cuts like I do now. Like, I would fast the night before and maybe sweat a little bit. That's it. I wouldn't fucking don't bother. Maybe later at the end of your amateur career when you're gonna go pro, now start worrying about cutting weight. Figure out like how you're gonna be doing your weight cut in amateur. Figure that out step by step. Don't fucking try to do it like it's amateur's trial and error. You got to find what's gonna work, and then when you're pro, that's all you're gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do my weight cut. This is how I'm gonna do this. This is how I'm gonna do that. Like all the shit that I do as a pro now, I learned the hard way in amateur, and that's what it should be. No one gives a fuck about amateur when you go pro. I don't got guys looking at my amateur record now that I'm pro. No, they're looking at the pro record. You know what I mean? So 170, I was like decent size 170, and at the time I thought I was a big 170. You know, because like I said, these fights were that pro debut or that amateur debut was like 2018. I think the dates on it. Man, dude, at the time, like, I was a big 170. Now I'm a little 170. It's like, it's crazy how quick things change, man. So me and LePage are going at it, and I knew what this was. You guys will see a lot of promoters and amateur fight cards being like, at the time I was 1-1. I had fought a fucking dude who had prior to this fight who was a killer. Wasn't ready for the fight. And I learned a lot from that fight too. I learned a lot from that loss. It was early in my career. Was a fight I shouldn't have taken. COVID happened. Was on the shelf for a little while, and then then I got paired up with this guy who was fucking 7-3 amateur, and you know I'm 1-1. So you knew what it was. You knew what it was. They were trying to pad this dude. They picked the wrong motherfucker to pad him with. Let's just say that, because he was noted as the wrestler. We thought he was gonna fucking come out and shoot all this stuff. Well, if there's one thing I've learned, man, anyone who's like high school, college wrestling, whatever it may be, I've noticed a huge trend in their style of wrestling. They are really good in open space wrestling. I'm really good on the cage. I'm not gonna shoot in open space. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm telling you, dude, like, I want to shout out my teammate Dave, because we're so like, he's a wrestler. I'm the jiu-jitsu. He's Jewish. I'm Christian. He's like primarily meat eater, Whole Foods. I'm vegan. It's like we're just like so opposite, but we're the same. And him in open space, fucking nonstop monster. Like, that guy will hit the craziest doubles on you in open space. Me, I can't do that. On the cage, if I get these hands locked, you're going for a ride. So going back to LePage, the guy was a high school coach, wrestler, all this stuff, wrestled throughout his life. Dude, I put him on the cage. He didn't know what to do. Like, I fucking sat there, beat him up the whole first round on the cage, Randy Couture style. Like, literally head in his jaw the whole time, just punch him. Finally sweep him, take him down. And then at the end of the first round, I'm beating the shit out of him. And I remember going to my corner, and my coaches are like, dude, he's already gassed out. Like, he couldn't get you off of him. And that fight was like a real eye-opener on how tiring fucking people would get, how tired people would get just trying to get off the fence. And it really is eye-opening, man. I mean, we linked back up, dude. He's, right after the second round started, he backed straight up to the cage. I walk up, double jab him, and then wrap him up. Fucking body lock, toss him. He goes to turtle, and right when he went to turtle, I just fucking rear mount him from the back, and I'm just fucking opening up, like pounding him. Ref's telling me, watch the back of the head. I look at the ref, you see it in the video, I'm like, what the fuck you mean watch the back of the head? He's like just going like this, and I'm punching him, and he was stuck. And then I got TKO finish there. That was cool. You know, like I said, I knew that a lot of these amateur promoters, they're trying to build up their guys that have been with them for a long time, and I knew they were trying to. I feel like my entire fucking career, they've tried to use me to build guys, and then I've kind of put a halt on that, to say the least. We'll talk about that later in pros too. I fucking just beat this guy 1-1, and he's fucking 7-3. You know, it felt like a good win, real good win.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Great. Yeah, that was first TKO finish on the record.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Awesome, man. And then that would have been like 8 months after you fought on Combat Quest, Noah Lopez.
Yep.
I remember watching that one. That was a Sunday, I think.
Yeah, it was a Sunday card, I believe.
Yeah. And that was, I don't know, it was a split decision, but I remember not thinking it was that split, you know?
Yeah, I thought I won 3-0. I'm good friends with Noah now too. It's funny because Noah went on to be like the amateur champ for that promotion. Dude was really good. Again, I didn't know who the fuck I was fighting, bro. Like, so I just moved to Tampa. I had moved to Tampa. After that LePage fight the next month, I had moved to Florida. Me and Meg did. And I found a gym I was training at, and he got me a fight pretty much. Like, he was like, well, I want you to train here with us for a little bit, and then we'll get you a fight. Got me a fight. And my opponent pulled out the Wednesday of the fight. And my original fight was scheduled for 170, and I was supposed to fight this guy. Honestly, like, this dude the guy that I was supposed to fight ended up fighting later that year, a different opponent. And I can tell you right now, the dude shouldn't have, that dude who dropped out of the fight, it's good on him, because he wouldn't have belonged in the cage with me. I'm just saying that right now. Like, this dude was garbage. So I'm glad he dropped the fight, because I wouldn't have wanted to go out there and wash this fucker up. But he dropped the Wednesday of the fight, and you know, we're like 3 days out from, so I'm like, fuck, dude, like, so what now? We're not gonna fight? They find a replacement, and it's Noah, dude. He stepped up on like 4-day notice. I didn't even know who the fuck he was. All my coach says is, we got a replacement. It's a guy who's 1-1. And bro, like, the only clip out there of him is him starching this dude in 10 seconds. And we're like, all right. And then my coach tells me, yeah, they come from a kickboxing gym. And so right away, it's like, fuck it, dude. We just got to be up in his face. So, like, right out the gate, dude, I fucking threw, like, a big overhand and wrapped him up. And I think we ended up changing the fight to be at 65. And that was my first, like, start slowly working my way down to making lightweight. So I was like, all right, we'll do this fight 65. Next one, we'll do 60, whatever. Fight Noah. And honestly, it was a real gritty fight. Like, I went out there and I thought I was going to finish him in the first. I had a Kimura locked up, and I heard one of my coaches at the time yelling, Darren, let go of the Kimura. Go to mount. I go to mount. I think he gave me his back, swung for the armbar, lost the armbar. Dude gets up, and we just fucking scramble from there. I go to Turtle. He punches, man, I can't even remember. I remember there was a transition where I lost him. He's on my back.
Yeah, you had fallen off his back or something.
Yes,
it was a very sweaty fight.
I think I went for the armbar and slipped off. And then he ends up on my back, and he cracks me a couple times, and then I end up back on top. It was fucking a crazy back and forth transition. It was like, I remember being so controlled, and this is another thing with fights, man. And I told this to the guys the other night after sparring. Dude, we try to be so pretty and so technical in MMA. Sometimes it's just fucking chaos. This was one of the fights that showed me, like, dude, it just got chaotic after this. Like, after that, like, I had a great double leg takedown. Fucking picture perfect. I was in full guard, and I handcuffed him from full guard. So then I passed using the handcuff. Like, everything looks so pretty. And then, like I said, I'm going for the Kimura. I hear my coach yelling, go to mount. Like, go to the Kimura. Me today, I would have just finished Kimura. But I fucking go to mount, and then, like you said, I think he gave me his back. I slipped off for the armbar, and then it just gets chaotic. Second round gets chaotic. We're throwing fucking shots. He's jumping guillotines. I'm running him to the fence. I'm fucking, like, postured up in guard at the end of the round, cracking him. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy fight. It was a fun fight, but like you said, I don't think it was a split decision. I think I won every round. I don't know if they gave him the first round just based off of the scramble he got off, but dude, that fight was chaos, and I loved it. That was a fun fight. It was a fun competitive fight. Kid's good. Noah's real good. Like I said, good friends with him now. Wishing him nothing but the best. I fought one of his teammates too. We can talk about that later on, but that was a fun fight, and I'm gonna try to, as we go through every fight, I'll give like a thing I learned, so anyone listening can be like, oh, that's something I'll look for. And this one, don't always be pretty. Dude. Shit's gonna be chaotic sometimes.
Yeah, man, and just, as that being my first time watching one of my friends compete. Oh my gosh, that was very fun. I'll never forget that day, dude. I remember everything about that day. I went to open mat, came home, had the fights on. Oh, it was great.
I think you're the one who sent me the fucking the fight screen recorder. I think I have that on my phone from you. Yeah,
exactly. I screen recorded the whole thing, and then going into your next fight, I remember Maya and I drove up for it against Aiden Rootbeck, and when we were there, we were talking about the Noah fight, and you guys were saying, oh yeah, we never were able to find it, and I was like, dude, I got the fight right here.
I remember that. I remember you sending it to me. I'm like, wow, I haven't watched this fight, so it was really cool to like see it back, and like I said, just see how like chaotic shit got in that fight. Like I said, we think everything's gonna go so picture perfect in there. It's not, man. Sometimes shit just gets chaotic, and you just gotta live in that shit. But yeah, that next one with Aiden though, that one was a fun time. That one was a fun time.
I wouldn't say that was chaotic at all. That
one was
as
more
one-sided as it gets.
Yeah, that one was more controlled. I think they should have stopped the fight in the first round, to be honest. I'll give a little bit of tidbit. Another thing too, depending on this will be the lesson for this one. Depending on how far you want to go in this sport, and this is for like if you want to go pro, I would say try to travel, especially if they're gonna pay for your expenses. Try to travel when you fight, okay? Because if you later on when you're fighting pro and you want to get out of the regional, you got to know how to like prepare when you're on the road. Again, this is a promotion I'd fought for before, but it was in New York. That's why everyone was able to make it. Like, and we took this fight on, I don't know, 3-week notice. And this one was going to be at 170. So it was like, all right, perfect. This fight's in 3 weeks. I'm locked in. Let's go. Let's get this done. And we fly up there. It's weigh-in day. And I think Lucas, like, you got to my place, and I was like, yo, this guy's going to be overweight. They're already texting me saying he's going to be 5 pounds overweight. Well,
yeah, I remember that.
Bro, I showed up on weight because I always do that. I feel like, you know what? I'm not going to let, like, my opponent saying, oh, they're overweight. I'm not gonna show up. Fuck that. I'll show up on weight. Like I know that's dumb. I know you can look at the stats of like guys who miss weight and the win percentage of them, and it's astronomically higher for the guy who's fucking misses weight. Dude, I knew I was gonna be locked in for this fight. I knew how much my and this is something I did at amateur intentionally. I had never showed my hands. I never showed my stand up to anyone. Like they all knew me as I'm gonna come forward. I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna wrestle. And it's like, bro, in amateur, these are 3-minute rounds. There's way less room for margin of error where you figure you spend a minute getting a takedown, and then now you're on top for a minute. That's 2 minutes of control time you got in an amateur round. Wrestling, plus I didn't want to be getting banged up in amateur. I'm gonna save that for later in my life. It's like fuck that. Like, why am I gonna stand and crack at amateur? I'll do that when I need you at pro. So. Like I said, I used all my wrestling fucking leading up to this fight, but we get to weigh-ins. This guy's 5 pounds overweight. I show up on weight. And then this dude goes and drinks a beer after the fight. This guy's had way more fights than me, bro. I remember, I don't, were you at weigh-ins? Did you come with us to weigh-ins? Or were you showed up?
No, I had gotten to your house when you guys were eating dinner after the weigh-in.
Yes, that's right. And I remember he went and got a beer after weigh-ins, and right there I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna smash this guy. You know, he was like fucking. I think he was 4-3 or something. He had a lot of amateur fights, but I knew I was the more like well prepared fighter. But like I said, anything can happen in there, man. Like he could have caught me, but we went out right out the gate. I forgot what had happened, but I think that first round I just fucking we met in the middle. I took him down. The end of the round I had him full mounted, and dude, I was just smashing the guy like fucking. I hit him like with 15 unanswered, and he's trying to punch at me from mount, and I thought like they gotta be stopping the fight soon, because there was one where I just fucking cracked him like with 2 hammer fists back to back, and his head bounced off the canvas, and I was like, damn, they gotta be stopping this fight soon. So they didn't. Go into the second round. This is when I showed a little bit of striking in the second round of that fight, because dude, I was like,
catching him,
stiffing him with fucking jabs and crosses. Like I remember he was trying to throw at me, dude, and he was whiffing, and I was just fucking sniping him. Like I was sitting on the outside, like fucking dude, we'll strike, and I hit him fucking like 3-4 times. And then he starts getting ready to strike, and then I took him down again, and I fucking just dumped him on the cage. Going back to the first round, I fucking tried to lat drop him, pulled him on top of me like an idiot. He's in my full guard. He stands up, getting ready to punch me, and I swept him. I went into Ashi and fucking swept him from a leg lock position. Like, dude, in MMA, it was like I remember my coach in Tampa watching. Yeah. I don't know what he literally said. He's like, I don't know what the fuck stupid jujitsu shit you did in that fight, but don't fucking try to do that again in a fight. I started laughing. He's like, it worked there, but don't let that happen again. I'm like, no, you're right. I was like, that was a dumbass takedown for me to try. I was like, you want to know what's crazy? I hit it all the time in the cage, and I kind of rushed it, but. Yeah, I ended up fucking. That fight might as well have been like 30-24, dude. All rounds 10-8, because it was like I don't think I took any damage. That was
yeah.
Like you said, as one sided as it gets.
Yeah, man. And it was funny because I had Maya on one side of me, and then I don't remember what relation they were to you, but another 2 people there for you. It was a dude and like a little kid, and. You know, I'm filming the fight, but I'm also like breaking it down for them and stuff. Like, and I'm like, nah, he's good. Come on, smash him, dude. You know?
Yeah.
So,
bro, I'm watching your audio from that video. You're just yelling, haha, he's stuck. The bitch is stuck. He ain't going nowhere. You're just talking shit, bro. I loved it. I was laughing my ass off when I watched the audio. And then fucking, when I was tagging him on feet, you're like, he's tagging him. He's got nothing. He can't do shit. I was fucking like, dude, this is hilarious.
well, dude, the coolest part of that whole thing was how afterwards we all went out with Him and his team,
Yeah.
we all got Wild Wings, dude. That was so sick.
Yeah, we all went out to Wild Wings, and I like Aiden. Cool dude. We had a fight, we had a squabble, we dapped up after. Crazy how that shit works sometimes, but yeah, man. After that, we were 4-1 amateur, and I was like, shit, man, we're really cooking now. Like, and
Well, and then you got your title shot for CFFC.
yeah, then we had a real big fucking opportunity. Cage Fury CFFC reached out to my head coach and said, "Yo, you guys got a 4-1 guy. We're doing this Tampa card, and we got another guy who's 4-0, and we would love them to fight for the title." And that was with Forrest. So that was like, fuck, dude, this is my first like really big fight, and this was one of those fights where like it was kind of like game planning with my coaches and my dad. He's a wrestler too. You're a wrestler. Fuck it, time to strike. So like that fight, dude, bro, we pretty much went out there, and I don't know. It's funny because we're great friends now. We train all the time. And I don't know if that was their game plan to not wrestle. Let's go out there and strike with this guy, because that was our game plan. And then we ended up going out there meeting in the middle, and man, like I feel like going into that fight, like I started seeing a lot of similarities between him and I. Like we had the same birthday, we're the same age. He's 4-0, I'm 4-1. Both love anime. We're like yin and yang, literally, because I'm white, he's black. We're like two in the same almost. But we did weigh-ins, all that stuff, and I was ready the next day. I had a lot of people show up for this fight. I had a lot of people fly in, because this was like, I would say when you're fighting on a big regional pro promotion like this as an amateur for a title, is a big deal. And this fight was a big deal, dude. I had fucking my aunt, uncle, grandma. I had fucking friends fly down. And the fight was a blast, to be honest. Here's another little learning tidbit from this. And this is something I've kind of like, I still kind of have a hard time doing this. Because I ended up losing a pro fight for doing this. Never settle thinking you're winning. Never settle in a fight thinking you're winning. I settled in the third round of that fight. First round, I would say I definitely won the first round.
Absolutely.
I tagged him with 2 fucking clean right hands, sent him across the cage. Second round, he scored a takedown, and I ended up just getting up from it, and I did drop him in the second.
You dropped him in the first and the second.
Yeah.
I believe with an overhand both times.
Yeah, we had like a couple crazy exchanges in the second, and I remember like there was one where I like rolled and hit a right hand, and then like rolled again and hit another right hand, and he stepped back and fell, and I was like, oh, I dropped him again. But I could hear my coach at the time, Blake Smith, screaming at me, and he was right to settle. Like after I dropped him, he would tell me, settle up there, and he's getting right back up, and he's like, just sit back and settle and wait. And then the third round, I feel like I coasted, thinking I was up 2-0. I coasted, and there was because I knew when he had shot in the second round, I knew he was still trying to line up the takedown. I had clinched him up, put him on the cage. I was throwing knees. And then after that exchange, I thought, like I said, never sit there and self-counsel yourself in the cage. Like, oh, I'm winning, especially now. We're halfway through the round. I've done all this. I got to be winning this fight. Because I just kind of was like, all right, let's sit back, stay tight with the guard. And he kept throwing flurries at me. And in the third round, I wasn't answering the flurries. I wasn't hurt. I was just, like, playing it safe. Because he was throwing, and I was sitting here just blocking. And he kept trying to come forward. And I was just like trying to jab him to stay back. I was comfortable with thinking I had the win in that fight. I felt like I did, and I feel like I don't know. Looking at it, I guess maybe you gave him the judges probably looking at it, gave him the third round And then maybe the second because he got a takedown and was pressing action, and I was really just like looking to counter strike and pick my shots. But like I said, the complacency probably was what gave him the nod. If I could look back, I was not as like aggro as I should have been. Like today as a fighter, like you've watched me fight a lot as a pro, dude. When blood's in the water, I'm fucking like hunting like a shark, you know. So, and that fight is what turned the switch in me to be like I said, I've had one blunder doing that since, but that fight kind of turned the switch in me like. Fuck that, dude. Now I'm coming to throw for the fence at everyone. But that was
Well,
go ahead.
If you remember, the everyone was complaining in the live chat because they put that fight on YouTube.
Yeah.
After that fight, they booted all 3 judges that scored that.
Right.
They
Yeah,
booted them from the rest of the card. They're like, no more.
yeah, that was it was interesting. It was interesting. Like I said, it would have been cool to have that CFFC title because I never won a title as an amateur. I've only won titles as a pro. I won't count the kickboxing title I have. I won't count it. I don't know. To me, jiu-jitsu and kickboxing outside of MMA, it don't count. So, like my MMA titles are the ones that count. That would have been my first one, and I wasn't able to get it. So that was kind of like whatever. But me and it's funny because after that fight, dude, like the second I'm in the locker room, I'm getting nuked with messages. I had promoters hitting me up. Yo, I would like to run that fight back from you two on my card. Like, dude, I had guys hitting me up about us fighting on their card. And what's funny is even today, dude, I have fucking promoters that will message me saying, yo, let's get you versus Marquez Forrest. You'll fight for our inaugural lightweight title. It's like, bro, we fight every weekend almost. Like, we fight at least twice a month. It's like we train and fight twice a month for free. Like, we've pretty much mutually agreed that we would never fight again unless it was like, all right, there's $50K on the line. Let's go out there. Let's see who wins, you know? And yeah, but since then I got a good friend and training partner after that fight, you know, and we joke around about that fight and stuff like that. He'll tell me, he'll be like, man, my eyes still messed up from when he fucking hit that shit. So, but yeah, no, it was a good learning curve that I needed an amateur to. Like I said, I was way too complacent in that fight, and that fucking should not have been.
Yeah, but. It was, I mean, yeah, I think and several friends of mine say that's one of the biggest robberies they've ever seen. All love to Forrest, but
yeah,
you won that shit.
Yeah, it was a fun fight. I look back and like I said, it gave me like things to sit there and think like, never fucking get complacent, man. Never get complacent because. Like I said, in the third round, you know, here I am a minute and a half in. I'm thinking, like, all right, I'm winning. And then he just started coming forward. And I should have kept meeting him in the middle. And that told me, like, dude, if someone's pushing action on you, you got to push back. You can't just sit there and fucking backpedal. And that was one thing that I could take away and tell myself. And I went to the locker room after that fight and I was like, fuck, man, I let that one go for me. Like I thought I had it because like you never know what those guys in the corner are watching and what they're thinking, you know. So yeah,
man.
Few and far between.
And you got to see it. I'm looking at it. I got a framed photo of you landing a nice cross on Forrest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they got some good photos of us in that fucking fight, man. Like the one is like picturesque, perfect. It's us throwing 2 hooks on each other, both of us throwing a lead hook on each other, and both lead hooks landed. Like they got some insane photos from that fight, like absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, man. And then going into your last amateur fight, Harold Morissette.
Yeah, so
that was back on Combat Quest.
Yep, and my lesson for this fight is if you sense something isn't working for you, you got to remember it's your career as a fighter. Whether you're going to go amateur or pro, you got to decide what's going to be best for you. And I know loyalty is everything in this sport, but sometimes, man, you're gonna have to see through the rose tinted glasses and understand that if this camp's gonna be good for me or not good for me. And this was when I transitioned from my last fight team to where I am now. I just realized that, you know, I had a fight between Forrest and fighting Harold that, you know, I felt like I got thrown into. I didn't want to take it. I got thrown, you know, we were trying to match me up and I got thrown into it on a week notice. I had like a 30-pound cut I had to make. This was for a title again. And I went out there and looked like absolute shit. And then I got like berated in the locker room about how I chose to lose that. Like all this shit. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. But pretty much like
the Elvin fight or the Harold fight?
The Elvin fight. The Elvin fight. And I did look like shit in that fight. I took that fight on a week notice. I would love to rematch Elvin at Pro. Give him a better package. I feel like I did a disservice to him fighting him in the version of me that showed up. But he, you know, I took a long layoff after that fight. That fight happened in February, and I don't think what was the date on the Harold fight? That was like October.
That was October.
Yep, October.
So yeah, it was.
That was a long layoff, and I feel like it was much needed. I took a lot of time off, just changing up my camp, figuring what was going to work for me, found what was going to work for me, and stuck with that. Training with my coach now, Vince, really honed in on like, he's like, dude, he's like, you know, you're already a very like established fighter. He's like, you've got fucking a ton of fights. He's like, there's not much I can't blend you into my fighter at this point. You're your own fighter. I can only look at what you're good at and make you better at it. And that's kind of what I needed. So yeah, like that was when fucking like that. I feel like that fight was showing like the blueprint of how I was gonna be going forward. Like fucking really locking into my cage wrestling, really locking into like, because you saw me like I was fucking hitting these crazy double legs in that fight. And even some of the I didn't strike too much with Harry because Harry's a good striker and good friends with Harry now. I again didn't want to open up, and he told me too. He was like, you know what? After the fight, he's like, I kind of fucked myself up. He's like, because I never watched you fight Forrest, and then I watched the Forrest fight the night before we fought, and I thought you were gonna come wrestle. And then I watched that fight, and I see you dropping this guy, and I'm like, fuck, dude, is this guy gonna come strike, or is this guy gonna come fucking come wrestle? With him, I wanted to wrestle. Like I said, I didn't want to take too many risks in amateur. I didn't want to take too much damage in amateur. Why am I going to go out there and strike with a striker? No, let's wrestle this guy. So went out there, wrestled him, got the unanimous decision. And that was kind of just showing where I was at. And again, we were probably planning on one or two more amateur fights and then going pro. So we're like, all right, time to start doing 55. So it was my first time making 55. Figuring out what I liked to do at 50 to get to 55, and it worked. I did a lot of research of shit on how to make it, how to make this weight cut easier for me, where I should start, where I should finish it at, finding out how you're gonna like to do your weight cut too. So two lessons from this fight. You gotta do what's best for your career, not your coaches, and figuring out how you're gonna do your fucking weight cut is gonna work every time for you.
Awesome, brother. And then 2 months later, you get the call for your first pro fight.
Yep, and you see me. I'm pretty like, I guess I'm pretty soft-spoken as a fighter. I'm not someone who likes to go out there like talk shit. I don't really ever break character much, but in the locker room, I get pretty fired up. Like I was sitting back there fucking crushing pads, like screaming like, this is it. 10 fucking years for what? 10 fucking years of training for what? Let's fucking show it. I was in the back like fucking like transforming, like talk, like the self-talk that I give myself in the back is pretty nuts. Like, and it's not forced at all. I'll come back to what I mean by it's not forced at all. Like I'm fucking like, I'm gonna go out there and hurt fucking someone, you know? And again, I'm 0-0. Tommy's 0-1 at this point. He had got knocked out by Forrest prior. So Forrest fought him and knocked him out. So I'm sitting there like, man, Tommy was a 5-0 amateur. He's 0-1 pro. He fought. He was Leo Code's 155 champion. I'm on the Leo Code. He's their boy. They think they're gonna lay him up. They think they're gonna give him a layup. And I knew like the guy had insane jujitsu, like black belt level. Well, we had a couple matchups thrown to us, and I told my coach, I was like, you know what, dude? Let's fight the fucking grappler. Let's fight the fucking grappler this time. Because I got something I'm gonna show these motherfuckers. I was like, I know he's gonna shoot on me. You know what? I'm fucking brown belt level. Let's see how much the jiu-jitsu works. So I had no intention of wrestling. A lot of people, there's comments too when that fight post got posted, wrestler versus wrestler. This will be interesting. No. I didn't plan on wrestling that fight. I wasn't there to wrestle. We go out there, dude, and you watch that fight. Like, I'm just punishing him, like fucking punishing him. And there was a point after I had dropped him with a big uppercut, and he almost armbarred me. I'm gonna give him that. He had me in a scary spot with an armbar at one point, but if it was in the gym, I would have tapped out. Let's just say my elbow hurt for a year afterwards. My elbow swelled up to like the side. I remember I had this hoodie on, and dude, like I had to have my arm like this the whole next day. Like I couldn't even extend it. But he was just trying to shoot on me. And dude, like I said, I fucking great jiu-jitsu guy, so I was able to escape his submissions. He started the fight jumping a triangle off the fence on me. And that was nuts. Like I almost didn't expect it, and it got tight, and I had Alon Cruz in my corner, and I could hear Alon screaming, "Don't fucking slam him there, do not slam him. And because if I slammed him, he probably would have cinched that bitch in. So I just literally propped him up on the cage and just kept like shaking him down. Come on, slide down. Once he slid down though, like I realized like don't even wrap up with this guy, dude. After that, I stayed at range, just threw straight punches and let him fucking fly, dude. And I think I dropped him like, I don't know, 8 times in that fight. Like just there was one time I had dropped him and he was trying to stay on the floor, and I walked up and fucking punched him in the head, and he rolled the fucking full guard. And like, dude, Andrew Glenn was the referee actually, and you've seen Andy Glenn on a lot of like UFC cards. And Andy fucking after the fight, my coach gets in and tells Andy like, how much did he have to do for you to finally stop the fight, bro? Because like I was like, dude, like I was hurting him. They had to take him out in a fucking ambulance afterwards, because I just was fucking like, what I think happened was, when I blasted him with the knee to the chest, and this is what the commission told me, when I blasted the knee to the chest after he shot, and this was the ending sequence, he fucking, they thought I caved a rib, and they wanted to make sure I didn't puncture a lung when I hit him. Because after that, he kind of like threw a punch I seen coming from downtown, and I just ducked, and then I came up and he's gone. I'm like, where'd he go? And then I look, I'm like, oh, he fucking fell. Like, what the hell? And then after that, I was like, he's done, dude. He's falling over punching. Like, just get on top and start fucking opening up. And sure enough, got the first win by TKO at that too. Everyone thinking I'm fucking coming to wrestle, dude. I was letting the hands fly, and that was when I was really starting to show like who I was as a fighter, I feel like.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. That's, everyone had the idea that you were a grappler, and this is really where you showed you got the grappling offense, but also the grappling defense.
Yep.
And your striking is a problem.
Yeah, and I feel like I showed that. I feel like they had no clue that was coming, because, dude, and I knew going into the second round, he took an extra 30 seconds to get off the stool. I thought they were calling the fight. And, man, Vince fucking told me, he's like, Theoren, just fucking get on his ass. Go out there, just rip. And, dude, right away, I'm just ripping combos, man. Like, I mean, keeping him on the feet, like, dude, literally zombie walking at him. Like, I'm doing the fucking Sean Strickland. I was, like, going like this with my right hand, like, following him around, like, just fucking every time he'd stop and try to throw at me, like, I'm ducking, like, throwing hooks and crosses, and man, that fight, like, dude, I was fucking on, like, I was on fire.
Yeah, dude. Great, great. Oh, very exciting. I remember that was the same night as Leon and Colby.
Yes, and then I went
And,
home and watched Leon and Colby afterwards too.
Yeah, dude. And then going into your next one, Gus D'Angelo.
Yep.
That was May 2024.
Yep, that
And
one.
that was that your quickest fight?
Nope, not yet. My next.
You're right.
Fights later.
Not yet.
Later. That fight was at 170. It was on 2-week notice for us. And you know what? Like I had a bad skin infection at the time. This is when I had a repeated like case of staph infection. I had a bad skin infection at the time, so it was like we're on antibiotics trying to get my skin cleared up. Like I said, 2-week notice, so we just did the fight at 170. I always try to like, yo, tell them let's do the fight at 65 or let's do the fight at 60, and they're like, nope, 70. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So this fight, I was like, all right, dude, he's gonna want to box. He's gonna want to box. So all right, I boxed last fight. Let's wrestle this fight. So this fight was quick. We planned on just going out there, using my striking to set up a takedown off the cage, and I literally called it the night before they interviewed me on Combat Night. How do you think your fight's going to go? I was like, I think I'm going to pressure him with my striking. Eventually, I'll get the takedown on the cage, and I'll probably submit him. And dude, just like that. Like, I tagged him with the overhand that cut his face, double-legged him, had him squished up against the fence. He was trying to play butterfly on me, and I was just heavy on the hips and just crashing elbows down on him. Eventually, he goes to half guard, and dude, I hit the head and arm choke on everyone in fucking training. Like that's my submission. It used to be the arm bar, still is the arm bar, but the head and arm choke. I remember I remember like you probably see this now, Lucas. And when you're training jiu-jitsu, you'll have a technique shown to you once in class or something, and you're like, oh, I can't really hit this, and I don't know why this won't work so much, or I'm never going to use this. And then a year later, or later down the road, you drill it, and you're like, I've drilled this before, so you know how to set it up perfect, and then like you see some small different detail from last time, and you're like, oh fuck, this works good now. Like I can hit this easy. That's how the head and arm choke was for me. And up until that year, I've been training on jiu-jitsu a long time. Up until that year, it was like a whatever sub for me. But man, dude, like John Ornolani showed me like a little detail for it, and now I fucking was ripping it on everyone. And then sure enough, dude, like he was tapping before I got to side control, just because how tight I know how to make that sub. And yeah, dude, that fight was 2.5 minutes, I think. It's quick.
Oh, but he's tapping.
Tapping to the arm triangle. Wow.
How about that?
Love that.
Yeah, dude. It was.
I got hit with like
unbelievable.
with a slap hook. That was about all I got hit with in that fight.
Yeah, I remember being told I had to quiet down because I was running around Maya's house screaming. I'm like, oh my god! So,
a lot of people did. The crowd was dead quiet when I subbed him because they didn't know he tapped. And my dad said when he was watching the pay-per-view, he's like, I had no idea you tapped him until I seen you let go and get up. And then the announcer like, did he tap him? And then I fucking jumping up and down. And it's like, oh, he did. So that was a nice one.
absolutely. And then going into probably my favorite fight of your career,
Fight was a blast.
Marcellus Wallace.
This fight was a blast, bro. This fight was a blast. So this is like the Dragon Ball Z fucking character in me. We had got this offer to fight him, and like right when I heard it, like the hairs on my skin stood up, and I'm like, yeah, let's take this fight because Marcellus down here is like super well known. Everyone knows Inferno Gym. Everyone knows Marcellus. He's a crazy good amateur fighter, great pro fighter, and it's like, man, like this is gonna be the one that pushes me. This is gonna be the fight that pushes me to get better because I gotta bring my best package for this motherfucker. And I had planned something like 2 weeks out. we were joking around about fucking getting marriage and all this stuff, and I told a girl at my gym, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna propose to Meg after I win this fight. And they're like, oh my god, stop, you gotta. So now I got this in my head. I'm calling family, asking to fucking if I can marry Meg, all this stuff. So now, like, I'm making this fight bigger on myself. I'm like self-inducing this pressure purposefully. And So I had fucking given the wedding ring to my coach, and I was like, hang on to this. And he looks at me and he's like, damn, you're really going to do this shit afterwards, huh? I was like, we're getting this win. We're going undefeated. And I told the promoter prior, I was like, hey, Mitch, listen, tomorrow after I win, I want to propose to my girl in the cage. And he's like, fuck yeah, say less. I was like, I'm going to win. And only if I win. But I'm going to win. And I remember telling him that. I was like, I plan on winning, so don't worry. So that fight starts, dude. And like I said this way before with his teammate Noah, because he's Noah's Muay Thai coach. Some fights are just chaos, man. And this fight was chaos right from the bell, bro. Dude, he came sprinting at me and threw a flying scissor kick. He's some of the fastest head kicks ever getting whipped at me were coming, dude. I remember he threw a lead head kick, and I'm circling to my right. I block it. He throws a rear head kick. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm just like backing up. I'm like, holy shit, dude. And then he throws spinning back fist. Like, he threw head kick, spinning back fist. And like, dude, he was just letting shit fly. So he does that. I like wrap him up because I got to get him under control. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, he came out. I come out hot, but he came out real hot. And I think like that's something that people are trying to do with me now is like, I come out hot. I start hot. And he was like, fuck it, let's meet him in the middle. Let's not let him. So I weathered the storm, take him down, smash him a little bit at the end of the fight. Second round's my favorite fucking round I've ever fought because this round was so like back and forth. He tries the same thing at the start. I crash him and crack him, drop him with the right hand, back him to the fence. I'm like opening up. But then I settle down a little bit. I'm like, all right, settle. You're not going to finish him. And I get in on the takedown. I was going to use the perfect blend of I'm going to fucking crack with this dude, but I'm also going to mix in my wrestling, so he's always got to worry. He almost guillotines me, and I do the one fucking tried and true guillotine escape. I fucking backed up and hit the dip switch, hit the roll on him. Then wrestled back up, shot a double leg, took him down. The ref stands us back up for inactivity. So now, at this point, now we're just trading. Now we're just fucking trading. We're on the feet. I'm doing the zombie walk. I'm walking at him. I'm throwing jabs, crosses. I walk him to the cage. I wrap him up. I'm like going into double legs. I'm doing the classic Colby Covington. I'm making space. Jab, jab, hook. I spun his head. He's circling out. I'm fucking chasing him again. And I remember there's one point where, like, I let a real big fucking cross rip. And, like... And I'm just throwing shit at him at this point. And he fucking, like, jets out big L step. And he, like, circles big. And now he's, like, backpedaling. And he's trying to fucking take my head off. So he sets me up good. He sees that he's got me walking on a line at him. And he's throwing a lot of teep kicks. A lot of rear teep kicks. So I'm like, keeping my guard tight. Like, clenching my elbows, trying to catch it. Because nothing's worse than fucking teeping an elbow. And, I'm getting ready to, like... shoot. I'm getting ready to fucking to level change and walk him to the fence when he throws another teep kick. I was like, once he throws this and I block it and he retracts the leg, I'm fucking shooting. He fucking question mark kicks and goes high and fucking skims the top of my head. And a lot of people didn't see this. I'm surprised commentary caught it. But in my head, Lucas, when he hit me with that kick, I thought I'm upright and he flat out plants me on my side and I had his leg hooked. And I told myself, because like we had drilled this whole fight camp, like I would shoot on someone lightly, they'd sprawl, and then I'd have to wrestle up. And that was like a majority of my fight camp for this fight. And I thought I was on my side and he was on top of me, and I had a leg wrapped up, so I just wrestled up. And then I remember like looking down and I'm blinking, and I see my coach. He's like, "There, you good?" And I nod my head. He's like, "All right, let's get the fucking takedown in the round." But what had actually happened was he cracked me. I fell into a shot position, and I had his lead leg wrapped up in my right hand, and I just stood up to a body lock. That's what really happened. And in my head, it felt like that was like a 30-second sequence. It was like 2 seconds, 5 seconds. And it was like, holy shit. Like, your brain really goes somewhere when you're cracked. But in my head, when I got hit, I told myself, fuck, you gotta propose. There's no way you can let this fucking take you out. So I ended up getting up, taking him down again. I go to the corner. Vince gave me probably like, I wish he was mic'd up. I remember it because I was pretty locked in at this point. He's like, all right, Theoren. I've thrown 2 leg kicks in all my pro fights, and they were both against Marcellus, and those are my last 2 leg kicks I threw because, dude, like, this guy is really like a fucking Muay Thai wizard. Because, dude, the second I cracked those leg kicks, like, dude, that right cross was fucking automatic. I threw another leg kick and whack. Do another leg kick, whack. I hear Vince, stop leg kicking. And it's like, we were drilling the leg kick or calf kick. But, like, I could hear him screaming, stop leg kicking. So I get to the corner, hey, stop throwing the fucking leg kick. It's not working right now. He's way too reactive. We're not going to throw that anymore. So I'm like, okay. He's like, listen. He's like, I need you to do something. I was like, yeah. He's like, I want you to fucking get low. He's like, I want you to fucking jab your way in, throw the cross, and get in your double leg. He's like, stop fucking playing with this guy. Take him down, get on top of him, fucking ground and pound or submission. You're fucking playing too much. And at my point, I'm like, I'm not playing. It's just fucking, this fight's chaos, bro. Like, but he's right. He's like, do you want to win this fucking fight? I was like, yes. He's like, all right. Do you want to fucking propose to your girl? Yes. He's like, so go out there and take this motherfucker down and get the finish. Let's go. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do that. So 3rd round, he doesn't come running out this round. I know he's tired because, dude, it's like from start to finish, we're just fucking boom, boom. I kept clashing. And when he didn't charge me this time, I take the center and he's skating the cage and I'm just doing a better job of like cutting him, a lot better footwork, not letting him out of the corner. He's throwing body kicks, double jab, double leg on top. He had kept trying to guillotine me off my double legs, and I would show the head and arm choke to stop it. So when I had my hands locked, I was like, all right, I'm going to bait him. I'm going to try to bait him and let him. I was trying to Von Flu choke him off of his guillotine. So I would have my traps really high up when I'd have it tight. So all right, I'm going to bait him. I'm going to let go and relax and let him get his hand out. So I feel his hand come out. And now I'm like, all right, perfect. Like the second he let that fucking hand go, I grab right on. And the rest was just a footwork sequence of pummeling my shins until I eventually was able to fucking get him get flattened out to his side. He almost rolled, but the way I came off, the way I set it up was not going to let him roll me. I got my hips too far off to the side, and I had my one shin to kick him back over. But that was my favorite fucking fight, man. And then I proposed to Meg afterwards, which perfect moment because, like I said, I just went to war for this shit and fucking was able to do that afterwards. But that fight was chaos through and through. I showed a little bit of striking, showed a little bit of wrestling, showed like I'm a true mixed martial artist because I feel like that fight was just so back and forth.
Thorn is in mount. Wallace is looking to turn the corner, but he can't. Thorn is snaked off to the side. Wallace bucking. Thorn denying him. And Wallace makes the tap. Right there. Thorn with the finish in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was, I got the picture of you tapping him right there.
Yeah.
With his hand going for it. Oh my gosh, that was a phenomenal night. Another night I'll never forget, man.
Yeah, did I tell you I was gonna propose to Meg before the hand, or was that like?
I forget if you did. All I know is I was a bit more than drunk when the fight happened. So when you proposed, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
I got so emotional. I was crying. I sent you a whole video. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude, I remember I messaged you crying before I got in the shower. I was like, fuck, dude. I'm like, fucking, I couldn't. I was so, like, because it was so emotional. I went in the bathroom and, like, couldn't believe I feel like just the emotion from having gone through that fucking battle and then proposing to my girl, and I, like, finally got back to, I went to go shower, and I was like, finally got a breath, and I was like, fuck, dude, we really did that just now. Like, it was insane. But yes, I remember that.
And then what was also insane was you took the fight with Corey Taylor, what, 2-3 weeks before the wedding?
Yes. Okay. So this was so we had the Shammy Delva fight, and I'll just touch on that real quick because that was another fight I thought I was winning, and I got complacent in the third round. I looked up at the clock and was like, huh. We got a minute, two minutes left, dude. You want to sit here and fucking, because I just want to give an analogy real quick. It's tough to engage with someone when they're not engaging with you. And I was like tying up with this guy. Like, I would throw a combo, wrap up on the cage, and hang out and try to take this guy down, but he just wasn't engaging with me the way I wanted to. You know how when a lion's chasing a zebra, the zebra's got to be running for it to get on him? This guy wasn't giving me the reactions I wanted in the sense of the analogy. So I was having a hard time, like, working anything. But I thought I'd won because really he only hit me in one shot. So that fight...
Yeah, I thought you won that too.
Yeah, and that fight, again, was like, all right. That was like a little reminder. Don't be fucking complacent. So now I'm going to fight Corey Taylor. Now I know, all right, they're doing this for their boy. Corey is family friends with Mitch. Corey's family friends with the promotion. Corey's had almost every fight with Combat Night. They're making this title for their boy. They got the Florida Man title. They build this fight as South Florida versus Country Florida. Because I got my fucking Raptors. I got the fucking basketball jersey, all that shit. So I remember going into that fight, we were like, all right, he's got a super good check left hook. You have a super good right cross. How are we going to use this? Our big thing that we worked was we're going to try to bait the check left hook out. We're going to use our left hook. We're going to use either our left hook to the body or left hook up top. But we got to be real disciplined about bringing this right hand back or always rolling or fucking faking with it. So the cross fake was always going to be there. And after the Delva fight, I touched on that because I was pissed off after my last fight. I had my emotions high. I felt that fucking high, that angst, that need to fucking go out there and win. There was no way I was going to leave there being 3-2. And I was like in the back crushing pads, screaming fucking, I'm coming, I'm here to fucking bang. I'm not wrestling. I'm knocking him out. His coaches are watching me hit pads. They came in because the way they had the locker room, it was an open event hall, but they had like curtains blocking us off. So I was hitting pads, and his coaches are watching the fight, acting like they're watching the fight, and they're looking back at me like, oh shit.
Uh-oh.
So we walk out for the fight, and I was like, just be patient, be patient. But we're gonna wait for certain things to happen. I'm gonna wait for him to back himself up, and we're gonna go anytime he can't back up anymore. So that way he'll have a hard time circling out, throwing the hook. I started that fight, take center, and just fake. A lot of fake. Show him I'm not going to wrestle. So I'm fucking sitting kind of like in boxing stance, like pumping shots, like ready for the leg kicks too. And I was like, let's throw a 1-2. Let's see what he does. So I throw the 1-2, and I see this. I'm like, all right, he's loading it up. Perfect. Now he throws a leg kick, and I'm so good at checking leg kicks now, man, from training with James Fryer and at Bering, where you've trained at, the head coach there, dude, that guy beat the fuck out of my leg in amateur. So I'm so like keen on like stopping kicks now. So like I popped back and then popped back forward. And then he backs up. And he's like right fucking lined up. The cage is like he's 2 strides from the cage. And I was like, he don't really got anywhere to go. This is where we wanted him. We wanted to fucking get him back to the cage, send 4 or 5 shots, and then get out and then roll out. We're striking with this guy. We're not wrestling. And I'm like, damn, we're only like 20 seconds in, but he's already right there. Let's let a combo rip. So I show my right hand big, and I almost pretty much take 2 walking steps forward. I show it, go body, now I go cross, hook, uppercut, and right when I fucking, and we drilled so much uppercut, hook, cross, but I just went cross, hook, uppercut after the body hook, and the uppercut spun his head because the body shot, I heard him. It was such a fast moment, but once I hit his stomach, I heard him, and he leaned forward. So when I threw the cross, I barely clipped him. I clipped him on the ear, and then I threw the hook. and that cracked him. And then he squared up and tried to throw. He hit me with a hook as I hit the uppercut on my forehead, and I hit the uppercut, and his head like whoop, like wobbled, and he dropped right in front of me. So right here, I know he's hurt. And he comes up and he tie clinches me, and I'm kind of like single collared, and I'm like ready to stop a knee, but I feel him like. If he wasn't tie clinched on me, it feels like his weight's going head first. Like he would fall if it wasn't me holding him up. So I'm like, he's hurt. So fight IQ, I'm like, all right, let him walk you to the cage. The second I pass the Combat Night logo, I'm gonna fucking hit a tie switch on him, and I'm gonna just let it loose. So sure enough, we passed the Combat Night logo. I fucking pull him and turn him. I blast one big knee towards his head. Post him, and I fucking send that huge elbow, and he's still leaning forward. And when he was still leaning forward, I wouldn't have opened up like this if he had straightened up and showed me a guard, because then I'd be a little bit more hesitant to open up like this. But when he was leaning forward like that, I just fucking let it rip. I'm like, he's got to not be there, man. He's got to be fucking hurt. I just blasted him with that huge knee. I fucking drilled him with that elbow. He's got to not, and he was just rocked a second ago. He's still got to be hurt. So. Like I said, when he was hunched over like this, I just let it rip. I just let fucking flurried him, and the ref stopped it. And once the ref stopped it, he fucking like fell off face first into the mat.
Here is Theoren Thorn and Corey Taylor. Nothing left to do but knuckle up.
Man, both of these guys are big, powerful hitters and strong grapplers. This could go either way. Both guys have 4 fights. Oh,
damn.
Corey Taylor cracked with the right hand. Thorn made a change. He talked to him in the back. He said after the sham fight, he's like, we are not here to grapple. We are here to go.
He's got heavy hit. Oh.
And Theoren Thorn finishes Corey Taylor in 30.
And I mean, I feel like that fight, again, that's another fight that brought out the best in me. I feel like after losing to Sham, I was so pissed off and angry with myself that I needed to go out there and make a statement. And that was like the one that, like, again, I'm fighting a guy who's 4-0. This is another tough test, dude. My entire fucking pro career, I haven't fought a slouch yet. All these guys, like, fucking Marcellus was 2-1, Corey's 4-0. Sham was fucking 7-1 when I fought him. And it's like, these aren't easy fights, you know? And now I'm fucking... go out there and stop this dude in his hometown in 30 seconds. And I was like, and like you said, this was like, I was like, all right, my wedding's in a month. My wedding's in less than a month. And I told Vince, let's fight on this card. So that way I can take a break before the wedding, then we'll get back in for something. Take him out, no injuries. We have a blast at the wedding afterwards. That was a fucking blast, dude. That shit, that video you caught of me where I walk out of the boat with the title up, that shit is legendary.
Let's go, baby. Theoren Thorn, baby. Yeah! Oh!
But
So
yeah,
sick, dude.
and that fight brought out, again, like I said, that fight brought out the best of me, because I felt like I couldn't I did not want another fucking loss. I did not want to be a 66% fighter. That's not what I wanted to be. And I was like, fuck no, we're not going to fucking go. I'm not coming here to lose. I'm not coming here to lose. And I talked to Corey afterwards, and again, this is something where he told me, he's like, you know, dude, he's like, to be honest, you fucked with my head in there. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, when I seen you come and stand in the middle and start feigning your jab, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, I thought you were going to come right out, walk forward, put me on the fence. And when I see you pumping your jab, I was like, he's like, we didn't game plan for that. He's like, we literally didn't game plan for you to sit in one spot and just show me that. So I almost didn't know what to do. And he's like, and then I gave you space, and I was like, see, yeah, we were just going to wait for you to give me space to suck up, and then I was going to let it rip every time you back away from me. And he's like, fuck, man, really good game plan on your part, because he's like, we were just ready to fucking chop your lead leg and fucking counter the right cross and left hook like we thought. And if you try to clinch up with me, we're just gonna get off the cage on you. But yeah, real good fight, I know it was only like 30 seconds, but that was my fastest fight. 22. I know it's 22 seconds. That was my fastest fight. It's crazy how much, like, happened in my head in those 22 seconds versus what actually happened. Like I said, it really only took me 10 seconds to get my read. And that's all fighting is, man. If you can get your read, you got to pull the trigger. Like, you might get hit in there, but you got to pull the trigger when you get your reads.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Great performance.
Yeah.
And that led you into, I think, the funniest fight of your career.
I love this fight.
You got me fucked up.
I love this fight.
It's going fucking down. You got me fucked up, bro. It's my city. I'm telling you that right now. Y'all not gonna want to miss this one. Tune in.
I love this fight. So, you know, I was surprised. We were at the wedding, and we did not. I don't think we had this fight yet. We knew we were going to fight on that Orlando card. We didn't have an opponent yet. And after the wedding, Vince's like, all right, hey, you're going to be fighting Cedric. And I was like, Lusan? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, they took this fight? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, they must know something I don't. So I felt good about it. I like Cedric. I'd seen him train. I seen him fight. I've been trained in his gym. Never trained with him, but I trained when he was in there. And, you know, I liked the guy. Forrest was good friends with him. And it was like, all right, let's, you know, like, I'm probably going to stand and crack this whole fight. Cedric really hasn't beat anyone really, like, Cedric hasn't beat anyone real good, you know? All his 50-50 fights he's lost. He's only got wins against guys like I even said it in the press conference. Like 1-11 was your last opponent, bro, and you're sitting here saying you wanted to, and I'll give you more context. So we end up going doing the press conference, and like, dude, like combat night, they're all about clicks. They're asking me how I see the fight going, and I tell them like, yeah, I think I'm gonna knock him out. Like, I think I'm gonna stand and crack with him. Like, what do you mean? So he was feeling some sort of way about me saying I'm gonna knock him out, but I'm being respectful. It's not like I'm calling him a bitch in front of everyone. Like, I'm being respectful. I'm like, no, he's, you know what? I preface all, but I respect him. I respect his team, but I think I'm gonna take him out. I don't think he's. Then he's sitting there saying, yeah, I watched you fight Corey Taylor. I'm praying you come out like that against me. And I'm like, and I talked to Corey at a fight later that month, and Corey's like, bro, that had me feel some type of way. Like, what do you mean you wanted to fucking fight Corey Taylor? He's like, bro, he never wanted to fight me. He's all like, that dude doesn't want to fight me. He's like, so him up there talking shit like, oh yeah, you ain't gonna knock me out like you did Corey Taylor. I could do that to Corey Taylor. It's like, Corey was like, what the fuck, dude? I want to fuck this guy up now. I was like, yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I was like, dude, why didn't you fight Corey then when they were looking for a guy to fight him? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you fight him? So he's sitting there talking all this shit, and I was like, bro, like, I fought fucking Marcellus, Sham Delva, Corey Taylor, all back to back. I was like, I couldn't even name your last three opponents. And I was like, 1-11 was your last opponent. He's like, yeah, that was my last opponent. I was like, so what are you saying? You're ready to fight me, bro, when I just knocked out a guy you won't fight. Like, so that was the Thursday of the fight, Wednesday of the fight. Thursday comes around, I'm cutting weight. And again, like I said, sometimes we have blunders in life. Sometimes we have little fuck ups, and this is where I made a fuck up. I fucked up my diet a little bit, my fight week diet. I had way too much fiber, and this might be TMI, I hadn't shit for like 2 days. So I had a lot of stuff built up in my belly, and that made the weight cut harder. This was hindsight afterwards, because once I rehydrated, it all came out. I was way too dehydrated to go to the bathroom. So my weight cut was miserable. I couldn't fucking it was tough getting the weight off. So this is where the you got me fucked up comes in. So we get to the venue. I woke up at 4 a.m. that morning, and I'm cutting weight. I'm like, fucking dude, I couldn't sleep. Let's just start cutting weight. I was 163 at 4 a.m. Come 7 a.m, I'm 159. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? We got weigh-ins in 2 hours. I'm still 4 pounds. It took me fucking 3 hours to get 4 pounds off. What's going on? I lay in the blanket for an hour, dude. An hour. And I barely get to 58. And I'm like, dude, what the? And Vince, I'm like, fucking, right here, I'm starting to feel defeated. I'm like, I don't want to, like, I started hurting, like, physically, emotionally, I'm like hurting. I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm like, Vince, dude, I don't know if we're going to make it. He's like, yeah, we're probably not going to make it, but we're going to get you close. So, we're 30 minutes from the venue where we got to weigh in at. I'm still suited up. I'm still in the sauna suit. Vince has me in the car. He's got both heaters pointed at me, blasting. It's August in Florida, dude. It's like 95 out. I'm fucking like falling asleep because I'm so tired and exhausted, but I'm waking up because I'm so hot. So like I'm in and out of sleep. I'm in and out of passing out. Like, dude, just passing the fuck out. I end up waking up at the venue. There's people trying to talk to me, interview me, the all this stuff, and I'm like, don't talk to me. I couldn't even talk, bro. I could hardly talk. We get on the scale. Now I'm 57. And it's like, all right, perfect. I'm only a pound off, dude. But I prefaced with the commission. I'm like, how long do I have to weigh in? They're like 10 minutes. How long do I have after to weigh in again? You have an hour from when you get on the scale. So I'm like, all right. Get on the scale, 157 flat. They call Cedric and let him know that I'm a pound over and I'm going to make weight. This is when he posts on IG, and you sent me the IG video of him screaming and stuff. And Forrest messaged me like, "Yo, bro, you good? Like, why is Cedric talking shit?" I was like, "Dude, I was like, dude, he's got me fucked up." So Cedric, Rich is on the phone. Rich is on the phone with Cedric, and I hear, and I'm listening to it. And he's like, "Cedric, calm down, calm down. Cedric, calm down. He's a pound over. He's gonna make weight. He's got an hour. We're just letting you know he's taking extra time to make weight." And then he's like, dude, and I hear him, I'm only hearing one side of the conversation. He's like, dude, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We don't ever take that much money. That's ridiculous. He's like, calm down. He's got an hour left. Don't worry. Dude, I go out in the field. I'm jogging in the sun. I got my boy Ali Abduzalem out there, and Ali's sitting there. "Let's go, Thor. Show how mighty you are." Dude, I'm like, I just ran like 2 miles dead. Like, at this point, like, I didn't even feel my legs. My body was just moving. My body, and Vince is behind me, like, pushing me. "Let's go, Theoren. Come on, Theoren. Let's see how bad you want it. This is where the dogs fucking come out. Let's see it." So, at some point, though, I eventually hit the ground, and I'm like, I can't keep running. I'm like on my hands and knees. I'm like, I can't keep running. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, Vince. He's like, "Do you really?" I was like, "Yes," because I could feel the shit in my stomach, dude. Like I said, this was like a nuclear bomb that was like killing me. And if I could get it out, I would have made weight, but I can't. So I'm sitting there telling Vince, I'm like, dude. He's like, "Let's stand up and do punches." Like, I can't move my arms. And he's like, "All right, come on." So he picks me up, carries me into his car again. We sit there for the last 30 minutes with the heater on. Takes me out of the car. We go to make weight. 156 flat, so I make weight. And I was like, "Do I need to cut my hair? Do I need to do something?" They're like, no, you made weight. You made weight. You're good. They're like, "Theoren, you're good." I'm like delirious at this point because I'm so fucked up. And now I'm screaming like, "Tell that motherfucker I made weight. Tell that motherfucker, unlike his teammates and all this shit, I made weight. I want to see that motherfucker right now." So everyone's like, "Theoren, calm down. Just chill." I'm about to pass out because I'm yelling and I'm fucking so dead. I sit down and I'm like drinking, dude. I'm like delirious at this point. Like I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. He shows up for face-offs, and he had totally different energy at face-offs. I walked up and I'm like in his face. I'm like, "I appreciate you understanding that I took a minute to make weight." He didn't say a word. I was like, "You know what? I made weight, and tomorrow you got to see me now." I was like, "You got to see me tomorrow." I was like, "But thanks for giving me time. I ain't gonna leave you hanging and not fucking make weight." And he's like, "Thank you." That's all he said. But like I said, you're sending me a video of him talking shit on me. But I'm in his face saying, "You gotta see me tomorrow, bro." So, fight day comes, and I'm not feeling normal. I knew right away I feel sluggish. I feel tired. I'm like, ugh, I don't like how I feel. I've never felt like this before. The weight cut definitely took its toll. I'm like, I don't like how I feel today. And during my shakeout, I still don't like how I feel. Hitting pads, I don't like how I feel. So I'm like, fuck, man, I don't feel right. We go out there for the fight. We had talked a lot of shit saying we won't shoot. But that's the high IQ in me. I'm not going to get sucked into this bullshit. I was slow to the punch. I'm not going to lie. I was very slow to the punch every time. And I was slow on my rolls. I was slow on my counters. I was slow on my engages. And I just realized, like, you know what? I got to turn this into a wrestling fight. Because right away I knew, like, fuck, dude, he's beating me to the punch. Like, I'm fucking getting hit. And I'm not, like, we were trading, but he was getting me at the end of his shots. And I wasn't hitting real clean stuff on him. So at that point, I'm like, fuck it, dude, let's wrestle. Let's wrestle. So I take him down. I'm taking him down at will, dude, like crushing him. Second round, I remember Forrest was in my corner for this fight, and Forrest telling me, he's like, Thor, remember, you're in his hometown, dude. You got to put statements on every round. I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. That first round felt close to me. I don't know why it felt close to me, but second round, dude, I try to strike again. Still slow. I hear Vince screaming, Theoren, stop fucking standing. Stop fucking standing. I shoot from middle of the cage, which I normally don't do. Miss my shot. Run to the cage. He's punching me. He's behind me. I turn around, switch him, go back on the cage, double leg him, take him down, end up on his back. I got him flattened out. Punch him. I'm like, I'm gonna finish him. Me being I don't know what I did. Stupid low IQ move by me. I moved one of my hooks out for some reason, and he gives me he pretty much got it, so now I have to get on his back from bottom back control. And I went to swing for an armbar, but I opened up my guard without fucking, like, I opened up both legs because I was going to use the fence, and he just rolls out. And then he just rolled out, and I just stood right up, dude. I stood right up, looked into him, fucking just slammed him back on the ground, dude. I was taking him down at will. And, you know, we were having to talk about our jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what, he's a brown belt, man. I've been a fucking purple belt for 10 years, bro. Like, I don't fucking care about no belts, but yeah, afterwards, after the fight, dude, his crowd was fucking chanting. He talked all that shit. Well, dude, he couldn't get out from under me. He just sat under me. I fucking elbowed him all fight, slapped him around all fight, and afterwards I walked.
Who was it?
What's up?
Who was it that was yelling at him? Cedric, get up! Cedric, get up!
Mike Perry's fucking...
Mike Perry,
yeah, Mike Perry was like, Ced, you gotta get up, bro. You gotta put your feet on his hips and push, Ced. Dude, he wasn't getting out from under me. Vince was right. Vince was like, you know, maybe the third round he could have struck with him because he was so dead. But one thing about that fight, I couldn't get a lot off on top because he was really just looking to not take damage. He was holding me to him, making it so it's tough to posture up. He was just holding my attacking arm. He was doing a good job defending himself on bottom. I couldn't really get a lot off without risking losing position, so I just fucking got what I could in. Not my best, like, fucking ground and pound display, but my best top control display. Like I said, he was okay with being on bottom. He just didn't want to get hurt. That was how I was perceiving it. And Vince is telling me, Theoren, crucifix, dude. He's like just fucking hiding his arm. Like, I'd go to reach for it, and he'd grab my wrist. I'd grab his wrist. He'd grab my. It was just this fucking monotonous bullshit. But yeah, dude, and like he couldn't get out from under me. After the fight, I walked up and I was like, so we good now? I was like, I guess I had to shoot, but we good? He didn't say a word to me. All he did was fist bump me. I was like, are we good or what? I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep that same energy next time I see you, bro. And then that was it. Then I got my hand raised. I was real disappointed by my performance. I felt like I fought like shit. And then I had people hitting me up, dude, that was your best fight. That was the highest IQ fight you've done. And I'm like, damn, dude, I felt like I fought like shit. I felt like that was my worst fight.
Dude, I remember
I was saying, I'm going to get a finish.
Yeah, I remember before the weight cut and all that, you were saying, you know, oh, we might open with a flying knee, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And it was a very strike-heavy game plan. And then I remember, you know, normally when the weight cut phase is happening, I'll shoot you texts throughout the days. I always understand you're busy. But I remember I didn't hear from you for a bit. And I didn't see anything on combat night. And I was getting nervous because I'm like, is he okay? Like, all this. And then it just showed that you literally beat him on your worst day.
Yeah,
like
that I can guarantee that was my worst day. Like,
dominated him.
Yeah, that was easily my worst day. And like you said, you'll usually hit me up and all this stuff. And my dad was hitting me up too. And dude, like Lucas, there was a point where like, dude, I just fucking like I couldn't even look at my phone and see what it was, see my text messages. But I was so fucking like. I've never been that fucked up from a weight cut. Like, dude, I couldn't even read my fucking phone. Meg was, like, blowing me up, asking if I'm okay, calling me. My dad, And my dad's like, yeah, my dad's on the plane ride down, and he's like fucking calling me and like texting me. And he's like, yeah, I was talking to someone on the plane. I'm going down to watch your fight. And he's like, yeah, I'm a little worried though. And they're like, why's that? He's like, usually I'm hearing from him that he's made weight by now or an hour after, and I haven't heard nothing. Dude, I didn't text anyone till like 4 o'clock that night when I'm like, or like till 4 o'clock that afternoon, like, fuck now. And I like finally came back together. Finally, like, fucking came back together and was all good. But it was, I'm not kidding you, like, when I got off the scale, I could have fucking cried, like, how fucking hard that weight cut was. I was hurting. I was hurting bad. I was like, fuck, man. That was my third fight of the year that year. So I had three fucking in a short period, man. I fought February, May, August, and then I fought again in November. And I know we're coming near the tail end of it, but I will say, but you know, I'll lead it in after the next questions because this is kind of like where I'm at right now with all this. But go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. What's next for Theoren?
So as far as what's next, right now, dude, I feel like I've just been taking a lot of time off. I feel like not even since before. Let's look back to that last amateur fight in October with Harold, and then my fight with Cedric. In 2 years, I fought 7 times, which is a lot, and making that cut to 55. And I was in the gym nonstop. I think I had only took a month off to let my meniscus tore after I fought Marcellus. That was another thing. I tore my meniscus during that fight. So I needed to take a month off. We were going to fight on CFFC, but after that June fight, I took the whole year off and didn't fight till February. But I'd already fought 3 times from December, February, June. And then I fought Harold, so that's 4 times there. Then I fought 4 times the next year. So, yeah, I fought 8 times actually within a 2-year span. And dude, like I was in the gym constantly, never out for more than a month. And man, dude, like I'm not gonna lie, like I've been training for 10 years nonstop. I don't think I've taken more than, other than injury. Even when I tore my ACL, both ACLs. Even when I tore my ACL the first time, dude, I was in the gym that next week, fucking rolling on it. But I feel like I'm at a little weird lull in my career where it's tough for me to get to the gym. And by that I mean is like I feel like I'm burnt out a little bit. I'm not done. I just feel like I'm very burnt out. I'm at a point where my body is so fucked up. I fought my last fight in November with a broken wrist. That was why we just went out there. And I feel like the burnout was leading into that fight too. That fight I opened up super early on. I wanted to get in and get out. I midway through fight camp, and this is kind of the first time I'm saying this to anyone other than my wife. Midway through fight camp, I started having like a mentality shift, and this wasn't like something. This is something I try to avoid, but I was more so thinking of, I can't wait for this fight camp to be over. I can't wait to get through this practice, rather than I'm going to the practice just to be there, rather than going there to get better for the fight. I'm just trying to get through the days at this point, and I've never had that mentality. And then getting to the fight, I was like, fuck, dude, like, I'm not going to be able to wrestle this guy. I'm going to just go out there and let shit fly. Because I just want to get in and get out and it to be over with. And I ended up paying for that. I ended up getting stopped for the first time in my career. And, you know, I thought I was having success. Like, I was rolling pretty much all of the guy's shots. I was tagging him repeatedly. And then I just fucking was loading up, opening up way too much. And you can't be doing that at this level. Like I said, I mean, some fights turn chaotic. That fight wasn't chaotic at all. That fight was very technical. It was a lot of technical striking. I got the read on the check left hook right out the gate. My game plan for my last fight was just going to be get inside and tag him because he's a longer fighter, wrap him up when I need a space, and then we'll break when we break. I feel like he was really concerned with the wrestling based off him trying to Uchimata right out the gate. I knew they were thinking I'm going to just body lock and hug him. So I just started walking him down the whole fight. And like I said, he missed every check left hook except the one that fucking counted the most. That's the one he hit me with. And that was because when Same thing I went to do against Corey Taylor. I fucking flashed my right hand and he threw the check left. I went to go mean body hook. And the only reason I did that is because I had tagged him a couple times with right hands and I hit him with a big body shot. And he visibly just walked backwards. And I was like, all right, I'm starting to hurt him. And right there, I was like, let's just open up. Because like I said, I just wanted to get in and get out of there. I was, like I said, bad mentality. Probably cost myself the fight rushing shit. If I probably just sat back, kept doing what I was doing, I probably would have knocked him out. But ifs, ands, and buts aren't nothing in this sport, man. Like, fucking, this sport's takes no prisoners. And I learned that the hard way. And since that fight, getting back in the gym, it's still been a little tough. Like, I'll train a few days here and there, a week now, but it's tough for me to stay in for more than 4 or 5 days a week. You know what I mean? Whereas back then, when I was fucking on my training high, it was easy. It was real easy. Now, dude, I'll train like fucking 3 days a week at this point, trying to just really fucking like fall in love with it again. I guess that's what I'm struggling with the most right now, falling back in love with it. I want to fight. Like, I fucking love the fucking competition aspect. I love getting in there. Nothing, I don't get higher than when I'm making that walk into the cage and fucking hear my fucking music. Yeah, hitting my pose, hearing the music play, dude. Nothing makes me more fucking inked up than that. I feel like fighting's burned my dopamine so bad because I only feel like that level of joy when I'm ready to make the walk and when I'm in there. And right now, I'm like, it's weird because I really want to fight. I want to fight, but it's like, fuck, dude. I just like go to train 2-3 days. I end up fucking getting hurt, and it's like, man, dude, I've taken so much damage over the past 10 years, body-wise, not head-wise, thankfully. And it's like, fuck, man, like, I'm just slowly coasting into I fall in love with the sport. Then I feel like if I had something lined up a couple months out, it would make me hungry again and want to get in there. So hopefully I can fight again in the summer, but I gotta get back my fucking wheels back rolling fully. I think I'm gonna look to start training a little bit differently now too. I feel like the overtraining burned me out pretty bad last fight camp. So I think I might go back to how I was in the beginning of my pro career, where I'm just doing one big session a day. Once I get in there, I'm there, and I can just stay there. Like going to the gym, 40 minutes to 40 minutes to an hour back twice a day got to be a lot on me too. That's 4 hours of commuting a day roughly for fucking, 4 hours of training. I'm spending 8 hours a day fucking driving and training, and it's like, I feel like that's what burned me out the most. Like I said, when I'm in the gym, I'm there. I'm fucking, blood's going, But now it's like, fuck, man. I just, the competitor in me is still there, but I'm having a hard time getting through this lull. It's tough. I guarantee. I've talked to people who go through this same fucking thing, and they say, dude, just take as much time as you need. Trust me, you're gonna come back around to it. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But like I said, if something comes up, I'll be ready. I'll be ready to fucking get back on it in a moment. But right now, dude, I'm just feeling burnt out. My body fucking can't really take the intensity as it used to. I'm not 20. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I can't get in there and just fucking go hard for, multiple hours and wake up the next day and do it all over again. Now I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm just fucked up the next day and stuff. So, but hopefully back in there in June. And I've kind of had like another realization too, is I've had so much pressure on myself of like, after that last fight, it was going to be, all right, now we're on the contender. And now it's like, fuck, now I like mentally fuck myself. It's like, fuck, dude, there goes the shot, there goes the shot, there goes the shot. But now I'm looking at it, dude, I don't even know if I want to go to UFC. And by that, I mean, I look at like this Jake Paul card, bro, and I look at I've heard the money he's dishing out to some of those guys, and it's like, I want to do that. I want, like, fucking fight on the Jake Paul card for some random for as much money as they're paying. Like, fuck that, sign me up, bro. Like, that's what I want to do, almost. Like, it'd be cool to get there, but like, let me go do this in the meantime and make a lot of money. That's what I want to do, dude. I don't want to fucking go to work anymore. Fuck that. I'd rather make like $20K a fight. And that's why I feel like now I gotta pull like Josh Hokett type shit to get myself fucking famous. Because that dude, like, I feel like that's the meta now. You got to pull the WWE act, and it's true. I love it. Like, I fuck it, dude. Sign me up. I'm gonna pull the Chris Jericho next time I fight in Tampa. Or fucking whatever promotion I'm fighting is Thor, baby. That's what we're doing next. But yeah, that's what I got.
Get yourself a big hammer to bring with you.
Yeah, I know. I gotta have the hammer and just fucking whip that bitch. I'll throw it to Meg, and I'll have Meg whip it back to me because it always come back.
Dude, that'd be sick, man. Awesome. Well, yeah, dude. Just enjoy life. Take all the time you need, and when you're ready, you'll be back.
Yep,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, keep the pressure off and enjoy everything, man. That's awesome.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. I appreciate you having me. Hopefully I gave a little insight to some people. And I'll leave this last little tidbit. This fight game, man. Sometimes we see it all the time on fucking TV, dude. Sometimes you think a fight's gonna go how it's supposed to, and it doesn't. Anything can. This is truly a sport where anything can happen. Truly anything. I think this is the most volatile sport in terms of shit that can happen that you would never ever count on. Matt Serra knocking out GSP, last night Olberg fucking busted knee, knocks out Yuri. It's like, dude, anything can happen in the blink of an eye in this sport, and you just gotta be ready to adapt to the moment. When you're fighting, you gotta be there in the moment. You can't fucking be there before the fight thinking this is how the fight's gonna go, because I guarantee when you get in there, it's not gonna go like that at all. Hence, when I talked about the Cedric fight, I thought I was going to go out there and bang him up. Didn't go at all how I planned, but you got to be able to adjust in those fucking moments. You got to be able to adjust on the fly and adjust to the moment.
Awesome, brother. Any teammates, anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'll shout out my boy Forrest, as always. Much love. Me and you got to get some work in soon, bro. My teammate Dave, like I said, Dave Brigida is the pretty much meat eater version of me, and I'm the vegan version of Dave. So it's like we're just opposite ends of the spectrum. So my coach Vince, for always being hard on me, he's gonna watch this and probably tell me quit being a pussy and get back in the gym. And yeah, my whole fight team in Inside Control. For always fucking, like, I've had my teammates reaching out to me like, yo, dude, everything good, and it's like, yeah, man, just letting myself heal up fucking mentally and physically right now, so I appreciate them always keeping me in mind. But yeah, and my boy Lucas for having me on, as always.
Yeah, this has been awesome, man. I'm very grateful for your time, and it's just been incredible watching your career, man.
Hell yeah.
Inside and outside the cage, you're just such an incredible guy. And a great mentor, and I just want to thank you, brother.
Thank you, dude. Anytime you want me on, I'll make time for you, brother.
Absolutely. We'll have you back soon, for sure. Pick a card.
Likewise, bro. I'll talk to you soon, all right, brother?
Awesome, brother. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you soon.